Thank you for joining another mixed media class. I sure appreciate it. This one's kind of neat. We're just making 2 cards, and I only did 2 because they're a little detailed. It was going to take a little while. I didn't want a long class. So I showed the inks. These are the inks I'm using. You might be using completely different colors. You can do whatever you want. The only recommendation I have is to use the same type of ink. So if you're using the Tim Holtz oxide, which are awesome, those blend great, and just make sure all of them are the oxide, because if you start blending colors on top of each other, it's not really good to kind of mix the two inks. It's fine with your paper, but we put it back in your ink pad, and that's kind of, it's not the best. So we're gonna start. I think we know what we need to have on hand. It's not much surprise. Whatever inks you're using, it's best if you also have an ink blending tool just for the black, which I've never ink blended black. Well, so that was interesting. Make sure you have definitely some tape. You're gonna need a lot of this, either washi tape, painter's tape. I finally bought this stuff that Heather always uses, purple.
That's cute.
Something tape. It's not very sticky, so it's not going to tear your paper, which is kind of nice, but it holds your stuff down. So I'm trying that for the first time today. Of course, some stamping blocks, once we get to stamping. And of course, some paper towels or whatever to clean your hands and stamps. And this one is a little bit messier. You will get some ink on your hands, and I'm going to show you a trick with that. I might have forgotten in the email to say go ahead and have a brown. It is not urgent. If you don't have a brown, do not worry about it. If you do and you have the little dauber, maybe you took that other class that I had, kind of have that handy, but it's not a big deal. All we're doing is doing brown on the little edge like this. It's not a big deal if you don't have it. Yeah, and I think that's it. And of course, you need your card bases. Oh, okay. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take this one out of the way. And we're going to start with this one. I'm going to keep this kind of handy so you can keep looking at it. Hopefully I can do that. Get this all out of the way. All right. I'm going to wait just for a second for Ann to get back, but just get the smaller card base.
I want to get my brown.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Let me show you. When I did the sample, I mostly used oxide ink. And I think the colors, I think this was Broken China, which I believe most of you have from other classes. The Picked Raspberry. I can't remember the yellow one. What's the yellow one, Mom?
Squeeze lemon.
Squeeze lemonade, or
yeah, squeeze lemonade, not lemon.
So I decided I wanted to use my Pink Fresh inks, which I love, and I had some more colors. So I'm just showing you, this is now what I'm doing with those colors. So I did a quick practice while I was waiting for you guys to come on, because it's been a while since I made these samples, so I want to make sure I remembered what I was doing. So just so you see, that's why these colors look different, because I'm literally using all completely different inks. So I'm making it like sort of like a sunset. I guess this is sunset colors. Again, you can do whatever colors you want. You can if you only want 2, and there's no right or wrong to this one. Okay, so let me kind of move this up a little bit. So what you're going to do is take the first thing we're going to do is this beam of light. Okay, so you're going to take your stencil, and I think all of you have popped out just this part of the stencil. That's going to be your mask for later, so keep it kind of handy. So you're going to pop that out, and this is going to take a minute or so to just position. Let's see, do it the right way. So lay it kind of on here, just kind of play with it, and then what you'll want to do, you don't have to have it on the block, I just already had it on the block, but take your lighthouse stamp and just kind of position it where you want. The ideal, I'm looking at my sample again, the ideal is to give yourself enough room on this side for a couple little birds. Definitely do it as close to the top as you can, because you do need some room for this stencil. We want a little bit of the water to show. So it's okay. This might take a minute to just position it right. So, I mean, even when I was practicing, I kind of had to, it took me a little bit. In fact, my practice, I'm not too happy with. I didn't do it far enough up. So kind of position. The other thing I wanted to try, I saw some other people do this where the yellow actually went through the lighthouse. So it looks like the yellow is inside. That's kind of fun. So I'm going to try that on this one. I didn't do it on this one, on my sample, but I'm going to see if I can do it now. So kind of took this. Let's see. So I want to give it more space. And it's okay if the light is tilted a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I tried to make it pretty straight, but it's okay if you didn't. And you want to leave a little bit of space too for more blue up here, just a little. I don't know if you can tell in the camera. So I don't want to cut the paper off. Let's see. And each of our cards are going to look different, so don't stress much about this. All right, so I want it over a little bit more. Oh, that's right, I want it up. See? It's going to take me a little bit. All right, I'm going to have to angle the light a little bit. I want this over. I want that up.
Amy, do you have the stencil under that or something? Do you have the stencil on the paper yet?
Yeah, it's on the paper.
Or just the, oh, see, so, okay, I'm doing it wrong. Okay, all right.
Yep, because you're kind of positioning where you're going to be stenciling. Yep. But I want this up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. I think I finally got it set. Okay, so once you do, which I should have probably done some tape first. Get your tape and take this down pretty good so it doesn't shift. It doesn't shift too much on you. Otherwise, that'll drive you nuts. Whoops. Oh, that's good. Okay. So. All right. You feel pretty good with the tape. I'm going to use some ink blending brushes. I finally have a few and I'm kind of playing with them. I really, really like them. I need to get more, but they're hard to find. And then start with your yellow. Now, what I'm doing, I don't know if you can tell in the video, not too much. This is a little bit darker and then it gets a little bit lighter. That's just my preference. So I'm going to do kind of one layer. And then we're going to go back and put extra ink on this top, on the more narrow section. So I'm just kind of putting my yellow. Like I said, I like that the further away it goes, the lighter it is. Also, obviously, be careful you don't get any on your card because the stencil is really narrow. So I make that mistake all the time. All right, and then I'm going to put a little bit extra color in the first part. So it makes it look like there's another whole color to it, but it's just extra ink. Oh, I kind of like that. A little bit more. Okay. I think I like how that is.
I get it too much.
So then you just carefully take it off. And as soon as you do, you're going to want to clean your stencil right away. Because that's the thing that's easy to make the mistake with this stencil set is now laying this somewhere and you get the ink everywhere. So just make sure you clean your stencil real good. I made a little bottle of alcohol spray. I just used another one of these that we got a while back. filled it with some rubbing alcohol, and I really love that now as a cleaner. But you can use baby wipes, whatever you would like. So for the next step, what we're going to do is now we're going to ink blend. That was kind of the hardest thing, what we did. So now we're going to ink blend all of the colors except for this, for the water. That's going to be our last thing. So again, this can take a little minute to kind of situate. You want to place there's many ways you can do this. This is what I have found is best, is to place this stencil, just like the way this is, place it down. It's about, because what you're doing is covering up, you're protecting this area so that when you ink blend, we'll go back and do this later. So you're trying to make this horizon line. So it's about 3/4 of an inch. You don't have to, do some major measuring, but that's about what it is. Take this, like I said, about 3/4 of an inch, and then tape it down. You'll want to hold on to it as well, just in case your tape moves, but this is what you'll end up having. You're going to tape it down and kind of hold that down. But before we start inking, the other thing we have to do is protect this yellow. We, of course, don't want to mess up our light. So take that thing that you popped out that now is the mask. And if you have this stuff called pixie spray, that's super easy. You spray the back of it, lay it down, you're done. If you don't, which I am not using right now, line it up so that you're covering every bit of the yellow, but you're not covering any of the white. So just completely line that up and then also tape that down. And since you can only really tape, this end of it, once we get close to this section, you're going to want to hold on to it. In the meantime, just kind of get it good and taped down right there. Okay. Once you do that, you're going to start back with your yellow. If you want, I'm just copying the card I made, but if you're doing different colors, go for it. But I'm starting with the yellow. And again, hold on to that so it doesn't move. And just starting blending. You can make it as light or as dark as you want. I go up almost halfway, because then when we put the pink, we're going to put the pink over the yellow, and then you'll have a nice orange. So you want to go up quite a ways. And as light or as dark as you like. Come on, this little bald spot. There we go. Right. Once you're done with the yellow, go ahead and grab your pink if that's what you would like. I kind of usually tap it off a little bit, make sure it's not too much. And then start putting the pink. That is not enough pink at all. I think I should have picked a little bit darker pink. But
Using the same ink pad for the pink, or
no, always do another one. Yep.
That's what I thought, just checking.
Yep.
Lord, my
So the pink, we're going all the way up to the yellow.
You mean to the light part?
How far we do?
To the beam of light?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much. I leave a little bit because I like the blue to go up and a little bit around the light, but mostly up to that beam of light. Yes. See. And as you get close to that being light, again, hold on to the mask. Unless you had the pixie spray, you probably didn't have to, but I know the tape doesn't always hold perfectly, so. And I know it looks just kind of a big mess, but after a while, as the ink dries, I find that it starts to look much better. I want more pink. I don't think this is a dark enough pink. Yeah, that's a lot of orange. Okay, now I think I got enough. Once you do that, then you're going to pick your blue. Now you can do the same blue that your water is going to be. That's what I'm doing. Or you can make it, you know, a different shade of blue. That's totally up to you guys. I'm using the same because I don't want to mess with two different blues. Oh boy, that was dark. Oh boy. Oh boy. Should have followed my own advice. I didn't knock the color off. That was really dark. Ah. Okay. Once you're happy with those colors, then you can just take everything off. And like I said, right away, clean your stencils and your mask. Although you're not going to need that mask anymore, but. Okay. Now, just so I don't make more of a mess, I'm also going to clean my area again because we're going to turn the card a little bit. So I recommend doing it. Okay, so now we're going to make the water. So what I recommend is, because I keep doing this, I know I already have ink on my fingers, not a lot, but a little bit. So I kind of saw this trick to take whatever tape you have and put it on your fingers. So then when you are going and holding the card, you're not transferring that ink to the card. So if you have any on your hands, you might want to do that. So kind of keep that handy. So we're going to take this stencil, and now we're going to protect, all this tape. We're going to protect the rest of the inking we did and cover that up. So once you have lined it up where you're covering the yellow, then take your tape, see, and tape it. Whoops. You got to tape it so you don't obviously touch the white, but try and keep it in one place. You're going to hold on to it really good, but just to kind of help you. Then the other thing I recommend is you should have like a piece of any kind of scratch paper. It could be printer paper. Go ahead and, so actually, now that I'm saying that, go ahead and cover it as well, and hold on to it. And I'll show you why. I didn't do that when I was doing my little practice. And I don't know if you can see in the screen, but as I was ink blending, then I did get a little line of blue here because I didn't, the stencil, was so narrow. So I recommend still taping it down to keep it in place, but then go ahead and put a piece of paper and hold it. Once you do all that, go ahead and get your whatever you want for the blue for the water. And just ink that up for the water. And this you might want to make look pretty solid. The rest of it, it's okay if it's kind of splotchy, but I think the water you want to make as solid as you can. It almost kind of grounds the card. This might be a part I just thought of if you use sprays. I haven't really done much of that, but if you already use that, you could spray that so it really is a solid color when you're making this card again in the future. Okay, that is good for me. Once you like the way it looks, you can just untape everything. And go ahead and again clean your stencil, and I would say clean your workspace too. Maybe let that dry a little bit. So now all that's left is stamping. I'm going to show you kind of how we're going to do all of it, and then we can kind of hop to it. So the black ink that you use is up to you. I kind of liked, and again, I know it's hard on camera, but this is, I like how it looks a little distressed. So I used the black distress ink that probably all of you have in your stash. And I did that for the lighthouse and the boat and the birds. I also did it for the wording, which I will not do that again. I don't want my wording to look distressed. Let me see if you can tell the difference. Well, you can a little bit. So see how much lighter this one is than this one. So this one I used a normal archival ink, black. So it's totally up to the taste that you like. I just kind of like the lighthouse to look a little distressed. So my recommendation is to do the lighthouse first, and then we're going to put the stencil and do over it. Because if you do it the other way around, if you do this first, then you put this, you can see kind of a line. It looks more fake. So if we do the lighthouse, then we do this, and then it doesn't matter which order. We're going to place your birds. You can do however many birds you want in whatever order you want. The boat you can do on top of the horizon, so you put it right on top. I kind of liked it when I saw some samples where it was a little bit underneath. But again, all of this is your choice. So I'm just showing you this what I'm going to do, but then you make it your own. So the best is to start with the lighthouse. Now, you kind of want to look at it, position it first, I think, kind of know where you're going to do it. So I'm going to try it with the yellow showing through those little lines. So instead of this one where the blue shows through, I'm going to do this one where the yellow shows through. So let's see how that works. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. So I'm going to ink that up. And again, I'm using the Distress. My lighthouse stamp looks horrible because I never cleaned it from the last time. So actually, I'm going to do this and I'm going to put it on my little practice paper just to see. That's a little too distressed. All right. So I need to ink it up more. Whoops. Mess. Okay, that's a little better. All right. So here we go. So I definitely recommend, again, as with new stamps, stamp it with, do it with, ink it up, and then put it on your little scratch piece of paper, maybe once or twice till you like how crisp it is, and then go ahead and stamp it. Oh, that's perfect. Oh yeah, see, that's kind of fun. That's a fun difference to put it through the light. Where'd it go? Yeah, I kind of like the light going through the lighthouse as opposed to that one. Yeah. Very cool. I'm not going to bother cleaning this because then we're using the same lighthouse on the next card. So I'm just not even going to worry about it. I'm going to kind of let that dry for a second anyway while we're waiting. How do all your lighthouses look? You happy with them?
Yep.
Let's go ahead and do the little land. This is another one of those. It just takes a couple minutes of positioning. You can, make the land huge or just a little piece. What did I do? You want to position it over the yellow and the blue. As you can see, it, goes over the blue a little bit. So let's see. And probably I'm overthinking this too much. That's probably good. So once you are happy with that, again, tape it down. Plus, you're going to want to hold on to it pretty good. Oh, you also have to tape your card down.
I think I did my thing. Yeah, it was in the blue too much, but whatever. I'm going to try it.
And this part I recommend not to use the distress because I like the look of really thick, solid, black. Oh, yeah. Now I don't remember which one I used this one for. You know what? So I used my archival ink.
You know what?
And that's nice and solid black.
All right, let's see.
And wow, this is taking a lot of layers. Just make sure that you don't, go too much and mess up your card. Like I'm already really close to doing that. Because if you've popped out any of your other stencil pieces, then you have some openings in your stencil. Oh, perfect. I like it. Get that black ink off your stencil really good. Wow. All right, and then the rest of this card is just stamping. So your little boat and whatever saying you want. I like the never lose hope, but obviously use whatever you'd like. Oh, maybe I'll just put miss you. I think I'm,
That's what I did.
yeah, I kind of like
Fine.
them. I'll do the miss you. Oh, well, that is not good. I just,
Ah.
just got the ink right on my card. Well,
I do that all the
I
time.
was not paying attention to the piece, these little pieces on my block. And all right, so there's going to be a lot of birds right there. Yeah, so I'm going to put those birds right over that. And hopefully no one will notice it. Oh boy. I do like the little bird stamps though. It's cute. They're cute. I'm finding the boat takes a while to take the ink, so definitely make sure you put a lot of ink on it. Now I'm going to let these dry before I back them in the black. That's my opinion on that. To go ahead and do the other card first, and then. So there's a lot of black ink on that. Okay, so the next card, of course, is the long one. So this is the one that I did. I really like the coloring on this, but I did all kinds of, really, if you can see, but all kinds of mess ups with black ink everywhere. So that's where, like, okay, if it'll be on your fingers, you've got to be very careful. You can't even see it on camera, but it's quite a bit. This one I did with using the yellow over the whole card, and then I did pink because I thought I didn't have an orange pad or something. So then I did pink to make the orange. It's okay. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's too pink. I really like the orange. But just to show, that's the two differences that you can do. This one's going to be real simple. You're going to ink blend, yellow here, and then just put some orange. Again, if you're doing the pink, if you didn't have an orange, then do yellow on the whole piece and then go over your pink. I would recommend maybe not doing so much pink. I think maybe I just did too much. And then Everything is just stamping. There's no, well, there are two steps. So again, the land stencil here and this little rock, maybe rock stencil. And then the rest are just all stamps. So this one will take a little bit, but it's actually pretty easy. So I'm going to start with the yellow ink blending. And then, like I said, if you have the brown, once you're done with the yellow, I just put a little bit on the brown. I mean, a little bit of brown on the yellow, made it look, give it a little more character, a little more dimension. All right. So careful again, if you have any on your ink on your hands, clean it off. If you can't, use the tape on your fingers, which I'm going to do that as I go. And just ink blend your yellow. This is quite bright yellow. I think I would have done a different yellow, but this will be something different. What you could always do too, especially if you have the Pink Fresh where they all blend together, is I think next time I would use a light orange and then just a darker orange. I bet that I'll do that on my next time I do this. This is a little bit brighter than I would normally want to do, but it'll still look good. And obviously you could do any colors. You could do, you know, reds or purples. I mean, there's definitely no wrong colors for this one. Has anyone started using the blending brushes? Yeah. Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, I just need to get more.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have the colors.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if you've watched any videos about the brushes or anything, but I was told that you can have just kind of one brush for all your yellows, another for all your purples or all your pinks. You don't have to have like one brush for every ink pad you have. That we would all go broke. So, because they wipe off so easily. Once you're done with the color, you just kind of wipe it on like I have a microfiber cloth, and they really clean off really easily. So that makes it nice. Okay, this is not blending very well. The other thing with blending, which Lenore and I have talked about, is the paper. The paper makes such a difference in how it looks. And I've been told the best blending paper is Gina K. And she's been out of it for a long time. I keep watching because I want to get it for the store. I have a wholesale account with her now. And so we're going to start using some more Gina K products in future classes. Her stamps are awesome. They're so well made. So as soon as I can, we'll start using her blending paper in the classes. This one is good. This is the Nina, which it's good, but I've heard that hers are just amazing. So just kind of a heads up, we'll be able to use her paper hopefully soon. I know with COVID, so much is out of stock with everywhere. So I keep watching. Okay, well, that's sort of okay. It's kind of darker than I would have liked, but I think it does fade. Like I said, as it dries, it kind of it fades a little bit, kind of sinks into the paper, and so.
Using Rocky Slope?
That I'm using dough.
Oh, dough. Okay.
Yeah, the Rocky Slope I think is more gray.
Great. Let me do my dough.
So I'm using Rocky Slope. I mean dough. And just, you know, just a little bit, just. I only did it on the yellow side, but you could certainly do it all the way around if you wanted. I think it just kind of gives it pulls your eye to that side. It just gives you a little something. So kind of figure out where you want your thing to go. I would do it the same way where I would do the lighthouse first and then do that little piece of land. I think that makes the ink look a little bit better. And you want to have enough space. You can do this rock on the bottom with I guess that's a fence plus those little plants. What are those called? Are those called cotton something? Cottontail? Is that cottontail? I don't know what those are, but so just kind of figure out your placement before you start stamping. So let's see. What I did was I popped out the little mask. You're not going to use it, but I did that just so I would know where it's going to be. So that's going to go right on the bottom. And then your little fence. Just kind of lay the fence down. Okay. And then you want your little land. Make sure when you do the lighthouse that you leave enough room on both sides of the land for some little plants, if you like that look, which I like those little grass. Okay, and then I gotta make sure my wording. Okay. Oops. All right. Yeah, it's hard to get a lot of ink on this lighthouse stamp. Okay, lots of ink on that.
Okay.
Okay. I can't wait to get the Misty. I think it's my blocks that I'm messing that up with because I got ink on it again. The Misty is going to solve everything.
The ink is not sticking to my lighthouse.
Yeah, I've had a hard time as well.
Me too.
Don't know why. Maybe clean it again. Put some. Maybe there's something stuck to it. But I just kept inking and inking, and then I finally did it. And make sure it's not too crooked. I have my card kind of crooked. Okay. So cute. I can probably see why I only wanted to do 2 cards. There's a lot of steps with these. And when you go to do your land, your little rock, I think I would call it, you just want to make sure that you don't leave a space. Like I made it, ink all the way to the edge. I think that looks the best. So when you put your stencil down, just kind of put it kind of right to the edge of the paper. Because that's easy to then miss it. All right, and again, this is where I messed up the last time I did this. I had black on my hands, so then I was touching my card and it got everywhere. So I'm gonna do this while I'm holding it down. Okay, let's see if I can do this without having to tape it down. Oh my gosh. Hopefully it will stay put. Right. Okay. Pretty good. Yep. Rock. All right, now the rest are just stamping. That's nice and easy. I love this cute little fence. Can you guys hear on my microphone?
Can we hear what?
Can you hear anything besides me talking?
Uh-oh.
I like that they gave us so many different little plants. And choose from the different sizes. Oh, there's my little one. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah. I thought it was too big, but it's okay. Once you feel everything's dried, of course, you can start putting the black cardstock behind it, and make sure when you're putting your cards together that, of course, you glue it, you know, the right way. I make that mistake a lot. I remember this set.
Came out pretty though after all that. I'm going to practice
Yeah.
on this kind.
Yeah, does it look better as it's drying?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. That's what I find. It's not so splotchy. There you go. There are the 2 cards. Perfect. Thank you all for joining. Hope to see you
Thank
next
you.
time.